Today's episode is brought to you by the Twisted Fork. Eat, drink, and enjoy. Chris Guertin,
What's up, Kurt?
welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I've been after you for now a couple months,
Yeah, we've been talking for a while.
but you're such a busy guy, man.
I'm a pretty busy guy.
I think you pretty much gig just as much as like Dana Lawrence and all those other cats.
Close.
Because
Yeah.
you're doing a Tuesday night, you got a Wednesday night, you're doing something with. So congratulations. So you're recently the newest member of 22N,
I am.
which
Yep.
is a great band.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I'm really flattered that they chose me, and yeah, it's been a blast.
Well, David Lay and Kristen Lee are friends of mine.
Yeah.
And they were on this show.
I saw their
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
And I try to help them when I can with some of their festivals and events.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really good people.
They're
and,
so
and they have a
busy.
lot. Oh, they're so busy. They got so much on their plate. It's insane.
Dude, they're so smart. They're so smart.
I
Yeah.
say to myself, how do they find time to sleep?
Yeah.
Because you guys, your band does a lot of driving. Because like you may be local one Friday night and then Saturday you'll be like in freaking Cape Coral. Like it's.
Yeah. Since I joined back in around April, I think I started April, May, somewhere in there. We play basically Clearwater all the way down to Fort Myers and a little bit further than that. And the keyboard player, Michael, who was on your show also, he lives in Dade City.
I know, isn't that crazy?
So he lives in Dade City. I'm in Sarasota. Paul, the guitar player's in Clearwater. Dave and Kristen are in Bradenton. So
I don't even know where Dade City is, man.
it's up by Lakeland, apparently. That's
Jesus.
what they tell me. But yeah. It took him, there was a traffic accident. It took him 3 hours to get to our gig in Fort
Do
Myers.
you think at the end of the year he'll submit a mileage expense report to David
I hope he does. Yeah.
at 39 cents
Or
per
to
mile?
the IRS. Dude, yeah. He's gonna rake it in.
That's
he
pretty
should.
funny. You know what's great about that band is everybody's super cool and super nice, man.
Man,
You know what
it's
I'm
such a wonderful environment, and it's a bigger show, big than what I'm used to doing, in the clubs and stuff. And they have a crew, and everyone in the crew is super nice. Everyone in the band is super nice. I'm really happy. I really am.
And they always have the best
Yeah.
gear, and they got the best sound engineer. They're always top shelf.
James is incredible.
You know?
Yeah, no amps on stage. Everything's in ear. So you get your own mix, and they run stereo ears too, so you can set it up stereo as much as you want. Run compression on your own mix, and
But that's perfect for
effects
you
and everything's
because
great.
you're a guy that's used that stuff before.
Not to this extent, but yeah. But mostly when I've used the in-ears, I've had amps also, so it's a little bit different. I had to really get a pedal board rig going that was, designed specifically for the ears, because I'm used to playing, at least having some amp sound bleed or whatever.
So
But this is pure.
the cool thing
PA,
about
so-
you being a wonderful musician, by the way, you play
Thank
bass
you.
and keyboards.
Thanks. Yeah,
And we're gonna dig more into that.
sure.
But you were with Kettle for such a long time.
Mhm.
You could still play with Kettle because Kettle plays so much
Yeah,
that on the nights that you're not gigging with 22N, you can jump on stage. Like a Sunday afternoon is a great example.
played with them last night. Yeah.
And Dana knows so many wonderful musicians
Yeah.
that he's got a quality backup for you. So like I went and saw them with another bass player. I didn't know who he was. And he was great. I was like,
Yeah.
he always finds good musicians.
Yeah, I mean, Dana has been in this town for so long. He's done so many gigs. He gets the good gigs. He knows all the good people. When you gig that much and you have that much work, you can attract and keep the good, the really good guys. So he's been able to keep guys like Pat McDonald, like Robin Swenson, Thorson Moore. He gets these really strong
These are the best
players.
of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are some of the strongest guys in town for
Well,
sure.
Jacked Up, whenever Dana's available, I said to Dana, we want you to come up and jam with us.
Yeah,
And we played Big Top Live and he was going to, but I think his mother was with him or he had some commitment after his show and he
Mhm.
couldn't get it done.
yeah,
So we would love to jam with Dana,
yeah,
get him up on stage, do
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple songs with him,
yeah. Yeah, he's always up for it when he's available, but that guy works more than almost anyone I know. And his mom does live with him now. She's
Right, and she's got some
getting a little
issues.
older. She's got some yeah.
Bobby Schneck's another cat who
Yeah.
will do doubles and triples.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw Bobby Schneck one day at Captain Kurt's
He's a maniac.
and that happened to be the third show in that day. Like he did
Mhm.
like I guess there's a place that he does like a 9, 8 to 12 noon.
Pops.
Which is crazy.
They do a breakfast gig.
Yeah, breakfast gig.
Yeah.
Then he'll do
Yeah.
like an afternoon, like a normal afternoon, like 1 to 4, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And then he'll turn around and do a night show.
The siesta key triple, right?
So
Yeah.
I was kidding around. I go, hey man, do you want to do an 11 p.m. to 2 show tonight? Just joking. And he was laughing. He's like, oh, there's no way I can do that.
That guy's a maniac. He's a maniac. Yeah, he'll do them all. If there's a gig, he'll do it. He'll take it.
You know what I like about him? He's such a cool guy, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any ego. I mean,
No.
that guy's is a professional that's been around the block, and he's got some big names.
Yeah.
But he's just so
Big,
like
big
cool,
names.
man. Like he'll let you borrow his guitar if you need to. You know what I'm saying? He's like, give you the shirt off his back.
Yeah. In fact, he was the first guy I went to when I got this 22N gig, and I needed to put a pedal board together. It was a direct system, and not a ton of effects, but like quality, good sound. And I called Bobby. I mean, he was the tech for the guy in Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I mean, he did. So he knows what it means to set up a bass rig a lot better than I do.
So
And he helped me choose stuff, or at least he gave me great recommendations, and then he wired it up for me and everything.
Yeah, I
and
should go
he's
see him
answered
myself.
questions to me all the time.
because
Do it, and he's more than happy to do it for you.
see that you're the kind of guy that actually knows what your pedals do. I had pedals, I had no idea what they did. They'd look cool. I mean, I would
I'm
always use my
learning.
tuner, obviously, and I would, my compressor. But then the rest of them, like octaves and all these other things, I'm like, geez, I ended up getting rid of them all, dude.
Yeah, I've never been a big pedal guy. I mean, I have a bunch that and every few years I'd make a pedal board and go, oh, listen to these neat noises I make.
Right.
And then
At the end of the day, it's like,
I use them on 3 songs in a week.
well, you know what? Here's the
You know,
deal,
so-
man. I love your tone.
Thank you.
And as a bass player, the first thing I look for when I go out live is I look at the tone.
Mm.
I listen to the tone, I mean, and I look at the room because I know every room's different.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain bass players in my mind that always seem to have consistently good tone. And you have to know what you're doing in order for that to happen.
It's important.
Now, there's 2 ways of doing that. A lot of times you control your own sound on stage, or sometimes you're at the mercy of the sound guy because you're coming out of the front.
Yeah.
So what are you currently running? Are you currently running so you're doing the inner ears now, but with Kettle, you're running a monitor.
Yeah,
right?
with Kettle and whoever else, I run an amp. I got
Right.
which is basically the Fender Rumble head, the Fender Rumble 500
Old
watt
school.
head. They're great. The new Rumbles, not the old, in
Are the
80s
new
stuff.
ones lighter?
They're super light.
Okay,
Yeah,
'cause the old ones were heavy.
It's tiny. Yeah. No, it's one of the tiny new class. Is it Class D? That are the light ones? I can never remember, but it's a light one. I've been using that for a million years with a TC Electronics cabinet.
I have a TC Electronics head, and I was
have
thinking
2 of
about getting
them.
the cabinet.
Yeah.
Do you like the cabinet?
I like the cabinets a lot better than I like the head. Yeah, I've
Really?
got 2 of the heads, and I use them now, and
But the heads are so cheap that if they break, it's like they're
yeah.
like $250, man. It's not, it's not like you're dropping $2,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I get what I like and I keep it. And then the TC, it took me a little while to get used to playing through 12s because I was always, most bass cabinets are either 10s or 15s. But I'm getting older, man. I don't like carrying around a whole ton of gear anymore. And I found that they work really well together. These TC 212 cabinets, they don't really make them anymore. If I see when I buy
stacking
it,
them sideways or stacking them on
I just
vertical
bring
or
one.
horizontal?
I bring one, I put it horizontal, so
Right.
it's 12-12, and then just the Fender Rumble on top. And when you see me with Kettle, that's my rig. That's that,
Oh,
and
so
then the bass.
it's just one speaker.
Just the one,
Yeah.
the one cabinet with 2 12s in it,
Yeah.
and the Fender Rumble head, which is almost completely at 12 o'clock. I'll tweak it barely if I need to. And then my basses are 99% passive, the ones I gig with mostly. I'm a big passive guy.
Really? Because I had a guy out here that's only plays actives.
Yeah, I mean, it's a personal choice
Yeah.
thing. I mean, to me, I don't know. I just got comfortable with passive. I have actives now.
But don't you notice the difference when you plug in an active,
Mm.
like I do, okay? And then I have my adjustments for that. The
Mhm.
minute I want to switch out and I put my passive Fender, because I got the Fender Jazz Bass, which is one of the greatest basses on the planet,
Yeah.
right?
That's my main axe.
All of a sudden, everything is much lower now, and I have to like bolster this and turn that,
Yeah, for sure. If you're going to run through the rig, you're going to have to change a lot of settings because
Right.
the output level is just completely will be very different, and just everything will be different. Coming from an active.
So let's talk
circuit.
about guitars. What are you playing, and what's your main bass and what's your backup bass?
So my main bass, since I got it in 2000, is a 1977 jazz bass, which I got in pieces. So it's not all original. It's not a collector. It's not worth a ton, but it sounds really, really great. And I put, it's got Lindy Fralin pickups in it. They're stacked, so they're noise canceling not noise canceling, but they're stacked pickups anyway. Still Fender Jazz. And then I put new pots and stuff in it. Put a high mass bridge on it. I've always found that it really improves the bass tone. Get that big old chunk of metal, in the body. And yeah, that's my main axe. And I'm a dark wood neck guy. I can't, for some reason, anytime I try a maple neck,
Really?
they just don't work with my fingers,
No
man.
kidding.
I'll find one that I'll really like and I'll buy it or I'll borrow it or whatever. And then inevitably within a few months, I'm going back to a rosewood neck something. But so that's my main axe. And then I also play a 5-string, which is my main bass with 22N because I do a lot of stuff with the 5-strings. Great, and it's a parts caster. It's just a bunch of Warmoth parts that I bought, and those are Nordstrand pickups because at the time Lindy Fralin wasn't making 5-string noiseless ones. So the Nordstrand pickups, high mass bridge. It's got what's called a tone styler tone knob on it, which is still passive, but it's a little bit different. Bobby Schneck will tell you exactly what makes it different. But it's passive. Yeah, 5-string, real wide neck. And those are my main axes.
What strings do you prefer?
I use the same strings. I buy the cheap Diodarios. The main ones that are like, most people play 45 to 105s for the gauge. I use their set that has a 50 for a G string. So the G string's a little bit thicker. I don't know if it's mental. I haven't broken a string in a long time. It feels to me a little bit fatter.
Do you buy the cheaper ones only because you change them out more often?
I just like them. They're consistent and I know what they're going to sound like.
They hold their tone?
They do. They do. I love the expensive, the DRs and the Labellas and all that stuff. To me, they fade pretty quick and they're real expensive. I mean, they sound amazing out of the box, but I've never really had too many problems.
So I'm a Blue Magic guy. And, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that I know that has them, whether they bought them or got them for free to try them, they love them. I mean, I can give you a whole list of local guys that are using them now.
Right.
And then my 6-string buddies are starting to use them now.
Oh, okay.
So I have the bass strings, obviously, but they're a superior string that they really hold their sound well. I mean, especially on the bass. Like, I don't have to change strings and it's always in tune. I should take that back. As you know, this weather is not good for guitars.
Florida's yeah, Florida, you just make the best of it,
I mean, you ever take a break and you come back and all of a sudden your bass is slightly out of tune? Like, what the hell just happened?
Mm-hmm. All the time. Oh, yeah, all the time.
It's the humidity.
Yeah, you go from an air-conditioned house, you put your gear in a car that's, 120 degrees, humid as hell, and then you get to the gig and it airs out a little bit, and then you play it for a while, and it might get hot on stage, especially with people dancing, and it's just all night long.
Who does your setups? Or who works on your stuff? Do you do it yourself, or
who do
you work with?
I do it, but just myself. I make little tweaks myself. I'm not very good with that stuff, especially with neck adjustments, truss rods, and things like that. But in terms of intonation and just little tweaks with the bridge and things, I generally do it. And if not, then Lenny's done a
Lenny Brooks. That's who I work with.
Lenny Brooks. And Bobby Schneck has done a few for me too.
It's so funny. I told Lenny I was going to drop off my bass today. And
yeah.
I totally forgot to do it.
Oh.
I left it home.
Yeah. Lenny's an old friend of mine, man. He's a great guy.
Oh, great guy.
And does killer work too.
So another good friend of yours who's on this show was Marcus Parsley.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I went to college. I went to college with Marcus.
Yeah. Because your name came up in that particular episode.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
He's a great musician.
Unbelievable.
Great guy.
Unbelievable.
Super chill.
Yes.
Very smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best podcast interviews I ever had. And it got good ratings because he knows a lot of people.
He knows a lot of people.
So like all that whole jazz community picked up on that episode. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. So that whole band, the whole JJ Gray band, I went to college with all of them except the bass player and the second horn. But I was in college with the drummer, the keyboard player, the guitar player, and Pete Winders, the guitar player, and I had a band for 3 or 4 years.
Are they going to be coming anywhere near here, man? Like,
I haven't seen in a while.
St. Augustine is a little too far, man. I think
Yeah.
that's the last 2 times they played were St. Augustine. And I'm like, gee, that's too far of a drive.
Every once in a while, they do something down Fort Myers way, maybe Naples way too. It's kind of, I don't think they come to this area. I haven't seen. I should check.
I fell in love with that band by one song. Somebody turned me on to the live version of Lochlusa,
Okay.
which is so hypnotic, and he tells
Yeah,
a
I haven't
story
heard it.
about moving out to the country
Yeah.
to escape all the bullshit. And it's just a great song, dude.
Yeah. They're killer and they're great live.
Yeah.
Really, really great live. Because they were a band. They were Mofro first, right? And then JJ Gray kind of picked them up as the backup band.
So there's like 3 horns there, or there's more than that?
I don't know. Last time I saw them, it was Marcus and another trumpet player. They were using 2 trumpets. And I don't know the other guy. I can't recall his name.
Do they even have backup singers too, like female backup singers?
I don't know if they do
Because
normally.
that's a big production. When you think about it, I mean, how many people are they traveling with, right? That's going to be a big production.
It's a pretty big thing. Yeah. Guitar, bass, keys, drums, JJ. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But
So when you're not gigging with 22N,
Yeah.
and you're not rocking out with Kettle, you're doing this wonderful dueling piano thing.
Yeah, I do a
So
dueling
tell me
piano
about that. So how'd that come to fruition?
It's pretty crazy. Big Top build their new main Brewery, the main building now, which is at Fruitville Commons.
Beautiful.
It's great. Killer food.
And the food is delicious.
The food's
My sisters are like big critics and they love it. They're like, everything was delicious.
Yeah, we eat there every week and I go through the menu, man. It's I haven't had anything bad yet. It's amazing. And Dean, you know, who does all the booking for the entertainment.
Yeah, I know Dean.
Yeah, Dean does the booking. He was at Stottlemeyer's for a long time, and then he went over to Big Top, and he does all the stuff at the Big Top stage, and now he's doing everything. He's the brains behind that whole operation, entertainment wise. He's
his girlfriend
very
was just
smart
on.
guy. Alyssa
was on the show. 2 weeks ago.
I saw. Yeah, she's really crushing it at the music compound. Yeah.
That's a great facility. Have you been to?
It's amazing,
dude. Those kids must be loving that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a kid,
I wish I had that when I was a kid.
I know.
Yeah. We were sweating in the attic. I don't know. But
I just saw a documentary about Leonard Skinner, and they had this shack. They used to call it Hell House.
Oh, yeah.
And it would get to be like 100 degrees in there, but they just sucked it up and they practiced there.
Well, basements next to water heaters. I remember all that.
Especially in Florida.
Playing through the Fender crates. Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up here. I was in Boston, so we were in the cold, damp places.
So you were born and raised in Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what were you listening to as a kid, man? Like, what was your jam? Like,
so man, you know, it's kind of strange. My parents were never really that into music. If my dad played something, it was usually the Beatles, Janis Joplin, Stones, something like that, which I love. Still huge Beatles fan. And then I was just really attracted to music. My first instrument was trombone because it was in 4th grade. You know, you can pick a band instrument. And I had seen the Boston Pops on TV. This sounds so stupid. I'll incriminate myself. But I had seen the Boston Pops play and I couldn't figure out how it got longer and shorter. So I chose the trombone as my instrument, brought it home and realized, oh, it's a tube. And that was it. I could have gotten rid of it. And instead I ended up playing trombone, even through professionally, got a degree in it.
Yeah.
But so I played trombone. So early stuff, I was doing all the band music. And then when I got in high school, I did choirs. I did all the shows. I was acting.
So trombone was the first instrument.
Trombone.
Did you learn how to read?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Did all the bands, all the jazz bands, all the everything through high school. And then I kind of learned bass with some friends, just kind of on the side. I mean, I wasn't only listening to that music, though. My favorite bands, first record I ever bought was Signals by Rush. First album I ever bought on vinyl.
Was that when they started getting heavily into the synths?
It was right at the beginnings of it.
People started freaking out about that.
Yeah.
Like the purists were like, what are they doing?
Yeah, but it was the first I ever heard. I remember going to a friend's house in 4th grade and in vinyl, you know, with those his dad had this killer, you know, stereo system. And he put that needle on subdivisions and it starts with those low F sharps, that analog, and I just I remember my eyes bugging out of my head.
No. See, any young person would just have a great time with that.
Yeah. And so I got really into Rush and then I went backwards with them and forwards with them. I was a long ride. So my earliest influences were definitely Rush and Van Halen. I was a huge Van Halen guy.
But were you playing air guitar along with Eddie? I mean, like when I was a kid, I wanted to play a 6-string, like a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until many, many years that I realized I'm not good enough. I can barely play a 4-string.
Yeah.
But because you were a trombone guy,
like
how were you looking at the music?
To me, you see, that's the funny, I was just into music. I wasn't really driven by a certain instrument or anything. I just remember getting off in music all my life because piano was my next instrument. So I kind of really wanted to learn piano. My friends would play. I'd make them teach me for a lease or whatever. And then I finally, got lessons later in high school, but I would play little keyboards in band and then I learned to play bass when I was about 14 or 15 and just noodle around.
Is it safe to say that the trombone experience made it easier for you to pick up a piano or pick up a bass?
The trombone was my gateway.
You had a little theory, you had a little understanding.
Exactly right. I always tell people it was kind of my gateway into this world of music. And I love the trombone. I still love the trombone, but I don't think that was really for me. Obviously now I'm a trombone owner.
But could you whip out a trombone at a 22-inch show if you had to and play?
I could whip one out. It wouldn't be pleasant for anybody.
But could you okay, I'm glad you brought this up because do you remember a woman named Aria? She sang jazz around here. She had a trombone player instead of a bass player.
Oh, Aria and the Alibis.
Yeah.
Nick and Ari, of course.
So she had a trombone player instead of a bass player. And I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, well, she had a bass player too, but she had the trombone. Yeah, and he just played trombone, and he was great. James, yes, yeah. I haven't seen him. He moved quite a while ago, and they stopped playing as a band. But yeah, he was great, and I loved it. I loved it. And Big Night Out, they always had the trombone, and a few other bands.
So what I'm trying to say is that it can be used and it can be worked into.
Oh no, it can be
rock and roll.
My lip's just gone. My lip's just gone. I haven't played in so many years that the sounds wouldn't be pretty. But I did. Like I say, I played it professionally because I was on cruise ships after college.
Well, let's talk about that because you spent many years on a cruise ship. So why don't you tell us that whole story?
Yeah. So I ended up going to college for music, and again, I went for trombone for performance.
Which college was it?
My first year, I went to UMass Lowell. I thought I was going to go for audio production.
Isn't Dana from that area? Didn't Dana?
He's from the South Shore of Mass. Yeah, he's from South Shore of Mass. So is Cara Nally.
That's right.
They're both from South Shore, Mass. I went to high school in the North Shore. No, so I was north of Boston. They were south of Boston. Yeah. And then my parents moved down here in 1990 when I started college. And so I went to UMass Lowell for a year to study audio production, but you didn't touch any of the audio stuff for a couple of years. So I changed it up and decided to go for performance. And I found out they opened a new jazz school at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville. And at the time, had these very famous professors from the University of North Texas, which is the largest jazz school in the world. And it was led by a low brass guy, a guy called Rich Madison, who played tuba and euphonium and was a really big jazz educator.
Max Shoe ad, opening scene, take 99.
At Max Shoe Productions, we don't just create videos. We tell stories that connect, inspire, and captivate your viewer. We are a full-service production company dedicated to bringing your vision to life while having some fun.
Editing is where the magic happens. It's not just about cutting footage, it's about shaping a story. The pacing, the rhythm, those little details that make your audience feel every moment. Whether it's a commercial, a short film, or an online series, we create content that keeps your audience engaged from start to finish.
Podcasting is all about an experience. You need a clear voice, a compelling topic, and the right vibes. Good audio quality is a must, but a great story, now that's what keeps listeners coming back.
Our team isn't just a group of creators. We are your partner in creating something unforgettable. Whatever the project, we're here to make it shine. Together, let's make your vision a reality.
That's a wrap, guys.
Is it unusual that a low brass guy would be a leader of a jazz band? Is that uncommon?
No, he was not uncommon. It's not as popular, say, as a sax or piano or trumpet or something, but it's not uncommon, especially the way he played, man. Holy moly. And so he started the school at UNF, some dollars, and brought in some very, very famous instructors. And they had the budgets. They were bringing in really famous jazz musicians that we would get to play with and study with for a week at a time. So like Branford Marsalis came for 2 weeks, and we got to do rehearsals and classes with him, and then we'd shoot hoops with them. Harry Connick stopped by. I mean, I could drop names of guys. Cool. Pat Metheny was there for 2 weeks. And, the entire Count Basie Orchestra was there.
So you were loving it then?
It was amazing. And I never had a background in jazz, but I was just getting familiar with it. And I went there and I absolutely got my butt whooped. I mean, these are guys that had played all through high school, and
serious dudes.
They had played. Oh, they were serious, and they had played around the world in high school with really great programs. And I came from a terrible high school music program, so I got whooped. But I got educated.
But was it the movie Whiplash?
Yeah,
was that? There's any truth to that movie?
It's exaggerated, but there's some moments. I've had moments like that in real life, like with leaders and stuff.
But guys that would play until they bled because they just kept they didn't stop. They just,
yeah. It was pretty obsessive.
And the intensity of nailing it,
Yep. Yeah, I was never as driven as some of my friends, but I was very fortunate to go to school with some amazing, like Marcus Parsley and some other names that are making it in New York and in LA, and playing with some super big acts.
Okay, so now you're doing the trombone and everything's going great, and you're professional, you're getting paid.
Yep.
So you got on the cruise ships.
I did that, graduated college, stuck around Jacksonville because I had a band with that guy I told you about, Pete Winders, who plays guitar for JJ Gray now. And we were kind of playing around.
What kind of band was it?
It was like a 90s, like a pop rock band, like a rock band. Like we would have fit in that whole sort of 90s alt rock kind of scene.
So was it mostly covers?
No, original. The original stuff.
All originals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were traveling a little bit in the Southeast. We were just kind of doing our thing.
So who was writing? Were you writing the music, or?
I contributed a little, but it was primarily written by the guy who sang. His name's Scott Flynn. He was a drum major, percussionist I went to college with, and he ended up singing in that band, and he wrote the majority of the stuff. And Pete came up with the stuff. I contributed a little, but it was mostly Scott. And then, did that for a while in Jacksonville. And I was the manager of Barnes & Noble. So I was doing the whole day job, playing music thing. And then out of the blue, I got a call. Do you want to come to the cruise ship for a few months? And I said, yeah, get me out of here. I was ready for a break.
As what position, though, at the cruise ship?
So I played trombone in the show band. So gotcha. We'd back up all the acts came on, whether it be singers, banjo players, harmonica players, jugglers, and then all the shows with the dancers, the big production shows, click track and all that. And it was a very heavy reading gig. We'd also play big band dance sets and jazz sets and that stuff too. So you had to do a little bit of everything. But literally the acts would come on in the afternoon with their charts. They'd hand them to the band. If you had a good band, you had a 1 hour rehearsal, and then you had a 1 hour show, and you did it twice in a night. If you got good sight readers and the music is good, you just read it and pass it on, and the next guy comes on the next day. It's insane. So I ended up doing that for a while, and eventually became a music director, and eventually switched over to bass on the ships. And I did it on and off for I think about 8 or 10 years. And I went to over 90 countries. So I got addicted to the travel.
How many of the 12 months in a year, or I should say 52 weeks in a year?
Yeah.
How many of those weeks were you actually on a boat?
So I worked for Princess Cruises primarily, and most musicians do 4-month contracts, some as long as 6 at a time, and then you take off whatever you want to take off. When I became an officer, when I was the guy in charge, so in other words, I was in charge of all the scheduling.
So you were
all
like
the rehearsals.
a musical officer.
Yeah.
Cool.
He was called bandmaster, music director.
You had like a nice shirt.
2 stripes, baby. 2 stripes. Although they never gave me one. But oh man, but when I started, it was still the Love Boat. I had to wear, white pants and blue blazer and all. Oh yeah. And but it was, you got to some killer musicians out there, because you have to read, you have to do
guys from all over the world though, not just Americans, right? There were guys from other countries.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was a wonderful experience, man. It was, especially when you start, man, it's trial by fire out there. And usually 1,000, say when I started on the smaller ships, 1,000 crew members and maybe 10 Americans, 15 Americans, 20, 30 nationalities. And in the show band, we could have guys from England, Canada, the US, Russian, Ukrainian. I've played with some Filipino. Yeah, all over.
So 4 months at a time at one block?
Yeah. And then 4 months, the longest I did was 8. I did 8 months once because I wanted to go to Asia, and that's where the ship was going. So I did a double.
So in a sense, by living on a boat, you're basically eating your meals there, yep. Right? You're trying to probably get some sleep, right? Sleep's important.
You don't get a day off. Yeah. You play every day. From the minute you get on that ship, you start safety training, and then you do your drills, then you do rehearsals, you play that night. And when the ship comes in off, if it's a 1-week cruise, you come in, everyone gets off in the morning, load no people on, you play the welcome aboard show, and off you go.
So in order for you to be there for that long, you must have really enjoyed it and had fun with it.
A lot of people ask about it. Yeah, I did. And I did. For the majority of my career, yeah, I did. And it's more people ask all the time. Sometimes the music can be pretty cheesy. Sometimes the drag, the band, you can have bad guys in the band. Sometimes it can be a drag. But it can also be awesome, and living with people from all over the world, experiencing people through their culture and that they bring on the ship, and being able to travel that much. Like I said, I got to go to 90 countries. Like I'm incredibly fortunate.
Hey, your passport must be
incredible. Yeah. It's really, it's really nuts. And it's an amazing experience. But like I tell people, I started to say this a minute ago. Sorry, I wander. It's really about the lifestyle more than the music. So sometimes the music can be a drag. Sometimes it can be great. There's overall, the median from most of my career was pretty good. It was pretty great.
But you're getting paid to play music, which is what you do.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're saving a lot because if you're on a boat, you're not really spending money, right? They're giving you. It's kind
of a toss. It really depends on what your itinerary is. It doesn't get paid a ton. It's not the best paying in the world. No one's getting rich on cruise ships, but you're kind of like, well, I'm in Tahiti today. I'm going to the beach, or I'm going diving with sharks, or I'm in Egypt. I'm going to go climb that pyramid.
Take advantage of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Some great, or if you go to like Scandinavia where things are a little bit pricey, you're still going to go out. I mean, you're in Stockholm. Of course, you're going to do the tours, you're going to do the thing. And
so now, many years removed from that,
do
you still go on a cruise? It's like for fun, or are you
never been on one?
You're like, because you've done enough, right?
Yeah,
you're like, there's no reason to go back.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'd go for a gig. If we got a gig on, some bands do like a week out or something.
What's incredible? So like, a lot of bands now are doing these things like Kiss. And all these bands will go on, or like Joe Bonamassa has a blues one.
Yeah.
And every time I look at one and I'm like, I want to sign up, it's sold out.
Yeah.
You know, like I never find out about it.
I don't know much about that world. It's really great. Todd Adams does a lot of those. They do like a New Orleans ones or Zydeco ones because he plays with some pretty heavy Zydeco players. So he does that every once in a while.
But the cool thing is the premise there is that you buy your ticket and you're going to be entertained by like a dozen, maybe 24 bands.
And they take over.
There's a headliner, you know, every night, more or less, right?
And generally they take over. The guys that are on the ships generally don't play. So the guest bands are in every lounge, and there could be jam sessions going on, and there might be 6 bands on in a night.
Like Kid Rock did a cruise once. Oh, yeah. And I can only imagine the drunkenness that went on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the type of people that he would attract.
From what I've heard from crew members that Princess didn't do that stuff. So I never worked any of those cruises, but from what I've heard from people that have worked them, it's not always the most fun situation to be on the other end of it, because it could be pretty rowdy.
Pretty rowdy.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, well, there's nude cruises too. And those are, always a little exciting.
Yeah, that's not.
But I did it on and off. I was, so I do a couple years here and there, and then I lived in LA for a few years, and then I do it again for a while, and then I did it for 5 years and then off. So it was kind of on and off. It's great, especially when you're young. It's a great experience.
So talk about, did you ever go to Nashville?
I never lived there, but I've been a bunch of times.
Okay.
Yeah, I never lived there.
Did you ever do any recording there, any performing there?
Nope. I never did. I love it.
What about in Los Angeles?
Yeah. I moved to LA in 2008. I've been here for a while, and then moved to LA, lived with a buddy of mine who's a producer right there. And I lived in his house in the studio. Unfortunately, he was like, come on out. I need a roommate in the house. And we got the studio in the house. I'll get you in all the gigs. His name is Wes Guertin. He goes by Wes Styles. Incredible musician and producer. And he's like, come in, I'll get you on the gigs in the recording studio. And 2 weeks before I moved, he got the gig with Coheed and Cambria. Remember that band?
I don't.
Big band. They're opening for, oh my gosh, who was it? Slipknot, I think, was their first tour that he was on with them. But big band. So I moved out there, and he went on tour for 10 months. But he introduced me to a bunch of guys, and I did a bunch of sessions and a bunch of gigs, and not a lot of pay. It takes a while to break in. So I lived there for about 3 years.
Let's fast forward now to Florida. Yeah. So who did you play with before Kettle? Were you in the Monsoons?
Monsoons was way later. Monsoons is born out of the pandemic. So I've been in and out of this town since the late 90s. In the late 90s, I joined Marvin. I don't know if you know Marvin Stolt, but the Marvins.
No.
He's been a fixture here for 50 some years, and he plays Wisconsin's in the summer. Summers down here. I did 3 years with him right around the millennium, which is just crazy. It's half stand-up comedy and half, it's just a nutty show. It's great. If you ever get a chance when he comes back in town, go check him out. So I did that for a few years. And then I had a band with Thorson Moore and Dave Clegg, who doesn't play anymore. He's a drummer. They were in the band called Funky Octahedra. I don't know if you remember Funky O.
I don't.
Killer funk band that was down here around that same time, late 90s, early 2000s. And they were kind of breaking up. And so we put together a trio called the Big Kahuna Band. And we played for about 5 years. We did the 5 o'clock club every Sunday for about 4 or 5 years. And our best year, I think we did 315 shows around Sarasota. It was pretty crazy. It was a lot. And then after that, I moved to LA for a while, then back on ships for a while. And then I came back and that's when I first got with Dana. I guess that's going on about 10 years ago. Did that for several years. And then, I moved away for a while, moved to Baltimore, took a day job. I was a copywriter for a little while, and then came back, got back with Dana again. And then when everything slowed down in the pandemic, some places were starting to hire again, but they were only hiring duos and singles and trios. So I asked Pat McDonald and Steve Juno if they wanted to put a trio together, and that became the Monsoons. And then, and then did that and Kettle, and I'm just busy, man.
You're a busy guy. So talk about your dueling pianos, because I go to see you, and you're up there with Todd, who was on the show.
Yep.
And people are throwing out obscure songs.
Oh my gosh.
Now, there's some songs that you guys obviously know. They're like the Piano Man, all the fun stuff that everybody wants. But there'll be some obscure stuff. So are you quickly going on the internet and pulling down the sheet music? And then, because you guys are flawless. Like, it's not like you don't need any, your transitions are fast. Like, you're banging these songs out, and it's almost like you know them all already.
It's nuts.
So you're sight reading, right?
Yes and no. Todd's an encyclopedia. Todd Adams, he played solo and dueling pianos for over 20 years in New Orleans and in Houma, Louisiana, and on Bourbon Street.
I think he said he started when he was 12 or something.
Yeah, he did literally over 20 years of that piano. Yeah. Never mind in bands and everything else he's done. Right. His song list is incredible. Someone someone shot out some really obscure, like Flogging Molly or something, and he knew it, But then if people do call one, if we're rudimentally familiar with it, we'll try to pull up a lead sheet if we can find one. Usually the chords are wrong, but you just train your ear to kind of do the best you can.
Right.
And just BS your way through it if you can, or
because it's all fun because people are drinking. So no, everyone's having a good time. And the weird thing is you're so high up there and everyone's down here.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's like a weird stage, how I've never seen the stage that high.
We're about 10, 12 feet in the air. Yeah. We have to get requests through a bucket.
I saw that.
It's a little weird. It's a little strange. But they're just they throw you some weird stuff. Like they try to wise up Lady Gaga or Kesha or some really.
They try to stump you.
And then all of a sudden, here's Todd Adams playing Pink Pony Club perfectly, and they go crazy. They go crazy. Or even if you can pull out they're like some rare Lady Gaga, and I'm like, well, I can play a verse of it, and even if you pull off enough,
and people are having so much fun there. I highly recommend to our listeners that if they get a chance on Wednesday nights, now you got to make a reservation. Yeah, because it's not that big of a place. I mean, the seats do fill up there.
About 150 seats, I think.
It sells out.
We've been playing since, so we're taping this right now. It's it's the end of August, and we've been playing it since last November. And I think the first seating has been sold out every week except maybe 3 or 4.
What are your hours? 6 to 9?
So we play 6 to 9:30. We do a set from 6 to 7:30 and then 8 to 9:30. And they're completely different, all driven on my request. If you come later, there's usually tables and seats available. So probably a better time to come. But if you want to come,
first set is packed.
The first set's packed. We got a lot of people.
That's indicative of this marketplace where a lot of people are early out, early to bed.
Yeah, a lot of it's, it's the age. It's a Wednesday night too. So, we're in Sarasota.
But I think it's brilliant. And
thanks. Yeah, so you asked how it happened. So Dean actually approached us about it, and he had approached Robin Swenson, who plays keyboards with Kettle. Robin's done everything in the world. He's, I'm
going to interrupt you for 1 second. Robin was gonna fill in with Jacked Up. We have 5 big shows in September. And I didn't have a keyboard player because my guy had to move. So I got Todd and Robin to split up the shows and fill in for us.
That's amazing.
But I had to tell them thank you, but no thank you, because I hired a guy.
Oh, gotcha.
So we have a full-time guy, so he's just going to start and do all the shows.
Oh, okay. But you got a new guy.
I'm going to announce that soon. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a really good, talented guy. He's from New York. Very accomplished guy. Produces, composes, arranges.
Oh, great.
All styles of music. He's done a lot of Broadway shows and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
And he was once in a tribute band called Frontiers, a Journey tribute. It's like a national tribute.
Okay.
He was in there for a short period of time.
So he's legit.
Nice. So we're very lucky to find him because I was really sweating it because Jacked Up, we get better and better each year because we keep getting better musicians. Like, I got the best singer, I think, in Sarah Santiago.
Yeah.
My drummer, Jared Johnson, is I think he's one of the best drummers. Now we got this keyboard player. We're just taking off.
Yeah. I've worked so much. I don't get to see a lot of bands. And every time I get to see you guys, I would agree with that. It's better and better every time. I mean, it's like once every few months, but yeah, you guys sound killer. I'm really glad you got a good, solid dude. I mean, Robin and Todd are amazing, but have someone full-time, solid.
But you need to, man, because during the rehearsals, you have that time where you're like, no, man, let's straighten this key, or you know what, you're doing this wrong. Like you can have those kind of conversations, and it's like you're in a room full of musicians who are trying to help each other and get better together. It's great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
22N. I know that you guys rehearse every other Tuesday or something. Or
we've just been. It's been a crazy summer, so we haven't been. But they rehearse
during season. They're pretty on track. They have a schedule.
They have it scheduled twice a month.
Right. But Kettle, I don't think Kettle really rehearses. Right. You guys are expected to show up and learn. No. See, here's the thing that drives me crazy, and maybe I'm not that accomplished of a musician that I can do this. But some guys, I need a set list. I need to have a game plan.
Yeah.
And I have to actually practice that set list and be ready for it. Now, there'll be stuff on the set list that I know that's just not on there. So if we had to add it, I can do it.
Right.
But I can't someone can't turn to me and say, hey man, let's play Don't, it's not Your Cross to Bear by the Allman Brothers. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you guys do that stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just a different mindset, and it's also having done it for a million.
But you got to be on your toes.
1.5 million years.
You got to be on your toes.
Yeah.
And you have to have a great memory. Like Todd Adams is a great example. The guy could play anything. I mean, you give him any Elton John song, he'll know it.
Yeah. Every week I just learn from him. My repertoire has grown exponentially since I started it. It was the craziest thing. Dean, it wasn't our idea at all. The Big Top, they said, we want to do Dean. I don't know if it was Dean's idea or the owner's idea. We want to do a dueling piano show. So they came to Robin to ask him if he'd be a fit. But Robin is like, Robin he's played with everyone from Frankie Valli, Helen Reddy, Air Supply. He's on an episode of The Office, on TV. He's a jazz guy. He can play solo, duo, trio. He's just an incredible musician. But the dueling piano gig is more shtick and talking.
Right.
And so when Dean,
a little bit of comedy.
A lot of comedy, a lot of being goofy, toasts and games. And so it's a lot of fun, but I don't know if it would be Robin's bag, but anyway, Dean had approached Robin to see if he was interested. He said maybe. And then, Todd Adams' name came up in the conversation. And when he asked Todd who his partner would be, he mentioned me. And Todd knew I played piano, but had never even heard me play. So I am so lucky and fortunate that he chose me.
And then you just happen to be available every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it was a match made in heaven because you guys are brilliant together.
Yeah. Well, he knew I'm pretty good on the mic and I have a good sense of humor and I've got good ears. So he knew I was trainable. He knew basically he could make me his little sidekick, whatever.
Not for nothing, because you guys have other projects, but this thing could travel. I mean, this act you have, it could easily travel, man.
A couple of other private gigs. A lot of them had to bail on because of the 22N thing, but there's also the 88 Live does the dueling pianos, and Todd's been playing. He just started. I think he's
Tuesday. Is that Tuesday now or something?
They do the weekends, Friday, Saturday.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that's more of a like the pianos are down right amongst the people, and a lot of craziness, So Todd did his first weekend, I think, this weekend with them, but yeah. So we're hoping to develop into some more stuff, but it's a great opportunity that really fell into my lap, and I'm really grateful for it. And he got lucky that I can actually, play piano a little bit.
Now, do you have a day job as well, or is it full-time musician?
I just play music. Yeah.
And what do you do when you're not playing music? Like,
practice.
What would you be doing tonight if you didn't have this interview?
Well, tonight, I live with my girlfriend and her kid, so we got a 10-year-old in the house. So I generally only have Mondays and Tuesdays off. So I usually stay at home, cook dinner. We just kind of, a little family time, or maybe we'll go out or something like that.
Sure.
Because I do the pianos, I do dueling pianos on Wednesday. I play with the wonderful Brian Bird every Thursday.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah,
I got to get him on this show.
Yeah, you should.
I definitely got to get him on the show. He was doing cruise ships too, wasn't he?
When he was playing with the Lee Boys.
Yeah.
They were doing cruises fairly often.
I always forget about Brian.
Yeah, he got married not too long ago.
He's one of the, you know what? But thinking about Brian Bird, he's one of the best kept secrets in this area because his name is not mentioned as much as other guys.
Yeah.
But he's so talented and he's such a wonderful, and he's a super nice guy.
He's one of the nicest, most generous. Yeah, he's a mensch, as they would say. He's a guy. He's solid, top to bottom. His band, Dirty Bird, they do Cask and Ale every Friday and Saturday.
Right.
And then on Thursdays we do it, but I play bass, so it's a little bit of a different lineup.
Where though?
Blase Cafe.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Blase.
7 to 10 right now, but 6 to 10 when we're getting season. And that's one of Brian's such a monster. And Thorson Moore does those on guitar
So
too.
when you have a conflict with 22N, there's another bass player that can jump up and play Blase.
Yeah. 22N is primarily Friday, Saturday, an occasional, but one Sunday a month, 88 Live. And then they do occasional Wednesdays or Thursdays. And I just, you know, I make my way for them. They're definitely my priority. They're my, you know, they're my main thing. But I do, so it's dueling piano, then Brian Bird, then Friday, Saturday, 22N. I'll be doing Sundays with Kettle when they start up again in October. And then, you know, occasionally a Tuesday or something else pops up, and one Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes afternoons. Yeah, I'm lucky, man. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Have you had any cancellations this summer yet because of weather?
Yep. Yeah, a couple.
Because we purposely don't play the last week of July, all of August, and the first week of September.
Yeah.
Every year we take it off.
Smart.
And I think
super smart.
I remember last summer, as opposed to this summer, there was more cancellations. It seems like it rained every Friday and Saturday.
And we had the hurricanes last year, man.
Yeah.
It knocked a lot of places out of commission for months at a time.
Right.
Yeah, last summer was awful for musicians around here because, you know, I mean,
but like there's certain places. I mean, let's think it. 9 out of 10 venues are outdoors, right? I mean,
I know.
I don't think you play well with 22N. You know, you'll do a couple indoors, right? You'll do like CJ's, and TJ Carney's. But,
there's a few.
But my band, everything's pretty much outdoors.
Yeah, same with
then you throw in the festivals.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So we're at the mercy of the weather, you know?
Yeah. It's funny talking to Todd and Steve Juno and James Vernado. They all grew up, they went to high school together, ironically enough, in Houma, Louisiana. But talking to them, they're like, yeah, I don't understand because, you know, Louisiana's the bayou, man. It's the swamp and it's just as hot and humid as it is here. But we all go inside in the summer. And I thought, Florida hasn't figured that out yet, man. I guess they,
you know, it's funny.
They like to sweat, but boy, it's brutal.
Well,
it's brutal.
We play Woody's, you know, and everybody loves Woody's.
Yeah, it's
outdoor
great.
venue. Certainly, you know, the rain comes and the water just goes.
Does it?
Clancy is another spot we play,
Mm-hmm.
and so both these places have, you know, the little band shells. We can go inside for Clancy's if you have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, Stottlemeyer's, you know, another great outdoor venue. Big Top Live. You know, with that new stage. Oh my God, how great is that?
Oh, it's great.
Fantastic.
Really, really great.
So those are 5 venues that we always play at. We're back in TT's now, all the way down in Punta Gorda.
We did TT's.
That's the Sheridan 4 Points.
Yeah, I just did that for the first time with 22N. They play there now. That's a cool place.
Did they bring
really
in the big stage for you, and they had you on the grass.
Yeah. What a cool venue.
And then our favorite venue, and I'm sure you'll agree, is Twisted Fork.
Of course.
We love it.
Yeah, man. We played there last 2 weeks ago. Yeah, well, that's where Marcus is down there.
Marcus
it was
and
cool
Bert,
to reconnect.
You know, he was actually there that day.
Marcus was not. He had just gotten back from Europe.
Yeah, I know he's always traveling. But he tries to come in when he can. I've seen him there once in a blue moon. But Bert is usually there more regularly.
Yeah.
And the food is delicious, you know, and the sound is great. The sound men are good. They know what they're doing.
Nate, their main sound guy, is unbelievable.
He plays guitar and keyboards with Gas House Gorillas when they play there. He jumps up on stage.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, young guy. But man, his sound, he's unbelievable. I mean, we're lucky with 22N. We got James is his name. He used to work
James
at the Grand Ole Opry.
He's the best.
He's incredible. When I joined the band,
he understands frequency. That's the thing. You have to understand frequency if you're a sound guy, especially as a bass player. And you know who's great also is Ray, who does the Paragon festivals. She's fantastic.
Ray, she's one of my favorites too. Yeah, you just mentioned my top 3 guys and that I know that I can think, but at least that I can think of right now. But yeah, when I got to 22N gig, I'd never met James before because he's full time with 22N, and I mentioned his name to Bobby Schneck, and Bobby just went, and I was like, okay, if Bobby says he's good, then you know, I think I'm in good hands.
We do our own sound, but we're at a point now where we just take our tablet and we just hire a guy to take the tablet and run it.
Right.
We'll pay him.
Yeah.
And usually we get good guys that understand our system.
You got a good system.
They can actually,
sounds good.
Thank you. They can actually mix us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As opposed to some dummy just putting, you know, it'll actually, I like it when you can bring up the lead and then you know to bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
See, the biggest problem we have, and maybe I don't think 22N has this problem, but there's always problems with noise on stage. The goal is to keep the stage volume as low as possible. Let everything come out of the front. But I don't know if your other bands, maybe where people are getting louder, all of a sudden the guitarist turns up. Now you turn up.
Oh, that pissing contest on stage is one of my, it drives me nuts.
And I admit it happens to me sometimes because maybe I'll get ear fatigue.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I can't hear myself. I got to turn it up.
Yeah.
And the guitar player's like, what are you doing? Why are you turning it up? Now he's got to turn up. Next thing you know, and then we have a loud drummer to begin with. You know, our drummer hits hard.
Yeah. My ears are pretty screwed. I should have hearing aids, but you know, it's not on the bass player health plan these days. Well, so I wear earplugs on every gig. If I'm singing or if something I might crack one, but I usually use those as much as I can. And then now obviously with 22N, we use in-ears. The monsoons, we use in-ears.
The biggest issue for musicians like you, guys who play often and regularly, is going to be hearing and your voice. Like my lead singer right now is having some issues. My old lead singer had some issues where it's an instrument. You keep singing, and maybe you don't sleep enough. Maybe you don't get enough iron or whatever. Maybe you like to drink.
And hydrating. Hydrating is the most important, especially in Florida in the summer, man. You got to drink so much water. Dana will drink 2 gallons of water a gig, and especially if you're drinking booze, because that will dry your throat out. It'll dry everything out.
I don't drink booze anymore when I perform. Like I may have one cocktail before, and I certainly will have one afterwards, but I try my best not to drink during the show, predicated based on that. I don't want to get dehydrated, man. I have to have water or Gatorade around me.
Yeah.
And I get pissed when I have to go back on stage and I forgot to get water, and there's no one around that I can ask to bring me. I'm like, fuck, and I got to sing. Yeah. There's 2 songs that I got to sing, and I'm like, geez, I don't have any water. What am I going to do?
It's tough, man. It's so tough. In this heat, you just sweat so much, and I always get I usually get the Gatorade or the Pedialyte or, what do they call the liquid IV, the hydration one? There's a couple of the hydration packets.
Yes.
I like ones called, I don't know if I can promote them, but it's called Drip Drop. It's not quite as sodium based as I find liquid IV, and some of them are. So, I mean, you need salt, but it also has all the magnesium and potassium and all those other essential things. Awesome, dude. And it tastes good. It seems to be a little bit better for you. And it's like 30 cents a packet instead of a $3
You know what? I'm going to
Gatorade.
call their corporate office after this and ask them to sponsor this show.
Dude, Drip Drop. I found them just doing some research on my own, but Jim McNulty from
Johnny
McNulty.
Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac.
The Verge. You like The Verge?
I love The Verge.
How great are those guys?
Yeah.
They only play once a year now.
I know. I know. But Johnny was doing a lot of gigs with Kettle when he's in town, so that's fun. When Thorson can't do them.
But they also do this Irish thing.
Yeah, that's right.
What's it called? It's like a trio.
Oh, I can't remember. It'll come back to me.
Something or.
It'll come back to me. Yeah, it's Dana and the 2 McNulty brothers, right?
And they sing in 3-part harmonies.
Yeah, they sound great. Their harmonies are amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and Tom plays mandolin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun gig. I mean, I haven't played any, but I go listen if I can.
It'll come to us.
Yeah. They're but Johnny Mac does the same thing. The Drip Drop ones, man. I highly recommend them. Plus, you buy the powder. I throw a couple in my gig bag. All I do is get a bottle of water.
How does it
and
taste?
I'm hydrating.
Man?
Tastes good.
Yeah.
The watermelon's the best, but it's always sold out. So you go on Amazon, wait till the watermelon comes out and get it. Sorry.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I like to lift weights and stuff, and I'm all about, that. And I have a tendency to cramp. So sometimes, I'll be on stage and I'll be having a good time, and all of a sudden my leg starts to start wobbling, and then it starts cramping, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is the worst possible time for this to happen.
I know, on stage. Yeah.
Because when it happens at home and you have to drag yourself to the bathroom and you're like, your leg's dead and you're like crawling so you can pee, it's like.
As opposed to trying to be a rock star on stage.
So speaking of that, some funny things that happen on stage. I'm sure you have a bunch of stories.
Oh, yeah.
There were times that I would pull my guitar, like before I was wireless, I would always yank my cord out.
Oh, God.
I would knock over my microphone. I'd step on my tuner so everything goes off, but not realize I stepped on it. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like blaming people for like, what happened to you? Like, no, it's my fault. I stepped on it. So little stupid things. You hope that doesn't happen often.
They're always happening.
How about you?
I laugh. Yeah, well, the most recent one, I play with I have a chorus pedal, but it's a multifunction chorus pedal. It's a little one, so it's a little cheap one, but it can do chorus, or it's a detuner, or it can do the thing where it plays like, it plays, a root and a fifth above it or something like that. It's like a $40 Moore pedal, but I like it I use it just as a chorus. It sounds great. It's cheap and it's small, so it fits in the pedal board. And I had accidentally bumped the switch to set it in detune mode. So like if you played a C, I think I have it set like 3 or 4 half steps higher. It was actually playing an E flat, but it sounds like complete garbage. Like it doesn't actually sound like a bass anymore. It sounds like something weird. And so we played some 80s song with 22, and I believe it was a Twisted Fork. So we're on the big stage, big PA, and I come in, hit this note, and it just sounds, terrible, out of tune. I can't figure out what's going on. All for one little teeny switch.
How long did the song, how long did you play before you realized?
Well, as soon as I played, because I got the ears, I was like, what is going on? And I'm not a great pedal board guy. So
do you sometimes play through it while you're trying to fix it? Or do you sometimes will actually stop? Like I try to play through things sometimes, and I realize I shouldn't have, I should have just, figured out, cut my loss and just.
Cut your losses, stop playing. Yeah, if something really bad's going on, or you realize the band's somewhere you don't know, the best thing you can do, I let go till I figure out what's going on.
Because you can make it worse.
Yeah, but when it's a tone thing, you kind of have to figure out what it is. So you got to try a little bit. So luckily, it didn't take me that long until I figured it was it was that pedal, and the switch had just got knocked. But
now
it was bad. It was really.
Are
bad.
you guys are basically down half a step across the board, right?
Yeah, we tuned to E flat. Yeah,
so everybody's down half a step.
Drop. Yep.
Yeah. I'm thinking that we should do that in my band because it'll help the singer ultimately.
I don't hate it.
Does does any one particular song sound off by being down half a step?
Not to me, not particularly. They sound not when you do it enough. If everyone's together, not really. The biggest issue that you're going to have is the tension on your neck. Some guitars don't like to be detuned. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some tolerate a little better.
The difference?
It's not too bad with a half a step. You know, if you have a decent axe.
I know, but see, here's the problem. When you're half a step, and then all of a sudden now you got to drop D, and now you're dropping D on your half a step. Now you got your brain's got to kick in. You got to remember where you are.
Yeah. But if everyone does it, so if everyone does it, you just say this song's in G, and you just play it in G position,
right?
Knowing that you're really playing, F sharp. Like you're not gonna be that petty about it.
I know, but
so if you're all together and then you drop D, just pretend you're in E and you won't notice. But the thing is, especially if you drop, I have a hip shot on mine. That's why I'm doing that little thing. But if you drop, you're losing tension on the neck. So sometimes it needs a little truss rod adjustment. And some guitars just don't really like it.
There's so many good musicians down here. But there's all different types. There's the Brian Johnson types that are famous.
Yeah.
Then there's the guys that aren't so famous, but they're incredibly talented.
Like, the Greg Polises.
Yeah.
Like, holy moly. Yeah. I'll be 100% honest with you. And I don't think I'm offending anybody. When I got here, I'm up my own ass as a little, I'm a jazz guy. I wasn't really a jazz guy. I was pretending to be one at school, but I was learning. And I could play rock and roll, and I had a pretty good ear. I was, played reed and whatever. And I got to Sarasota, which was a lot sleepier at the time. This is 1990. And, my brother told me, hey, I met these guys. He was younger than me, so he was in high school here. And I met these musicians. There's some pretty good musicians here. I said, oh, okay, I'll go check them out. I'm in college, big deal that I am. Holy crap, is there some good musicians in here? Unbelievable musicians. And at that time, back when Main Street was happening, there used to be 4 or 5 bars on Main Street you would go to with all these original projects, these bands. Sure. I mean, you could go and there'd be a punk band, and then there'd be a jam band, and then there'd be some guy playing,
that world's
dobro and stuff. And you could go hear that all on Main Street. You just park on Main Street up and down. And I loved it. I loved it so much. And I'm really blessed to be part of the scene now, because
unfortunately our musical community is shrinking as far as the amount of venues, and everything now is just cover, touristy stuff.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to wrap up.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? But I do want to say, as a bass player, I think you're one of the best bass players
thank you,
in this area. Easily. Everything from the way you play, your tone, your style. You're just a top professional.
Flattering. Thank you very much.
And to think that you can also do the same thing with a piano is incredible.
I'm getting there.
I
got Todd Adams teaching me.
Right? He's one of the best.
Get there. But so thank you, man. You're a hell of a bass player yourself.
Well,
man.
thank you.
So I appreciate that.
I'm trying. I'm working it. I practice every day. That's the thing. Here's the thing. Even though we're only cover bands, and I don't have an ego, because this is really my passion.
Yeah.
My band is great. Don't get me wrong. I love Jacked Up, but I consider myself just to be a very average guy, and we're having fun. And we're getting paid to have fun. But unfortunately, we set a standard now, and there's certainly expectations now. So now we have to be tight.
Yeah.
And we have to be serious, and we have to practice. We have to rehearse. So you practice on your own and you rehearse as a band.
That's right.
And you do your homework and you come in. And you have to learn new songs, and you got to keep it fresh. There was a time we were playing the exact same set list for 6 months. I'm like, guys, we're going to learn 15 new songs.
I would go crazy. Yeah. Got to keep it fresh, but it takes work.
But anyway, thank you for that compliment.
Yeah.
So in these final seconds, anybody you want to shout out to, anything you want to say?
No, I'm really grateful, first of all, for you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And I think I mentioned most of the guys. I'm really lucky. I feel very fortunate with the musicians I play with around town. I'm sure I'm leaving some out, and I apologize to any of you I did. But when you were just talking about constantly practicing and evolving, one quote that came to mind, there's a very famous violinist named Pablo Casals. He's dead now, a long time ago. But at 90 years old, he still practiced hours and hours every day. And there's a famous quote where a reporter said, why are you still practicing? And cellist or violin. But you're 90 years old. Why are you still practicing? And he said, because I think I'm finally getting somewhere. And I think that's true. That's a great
That's
quote.
True, because your instrument could drive you insane.
It never ends. I look at
guys like Joe Bonamassa, who's one of my favorite. And that guy keeps taking it to another level. I mean, every record he puts out, every concert, it's getting better and better. And I say to myself, how does this guy do it, man?
Yeah. Look at Miles's career. Started off, in the beginnings of bebop and ended off inventing fusion. He invented 3 or 4 different types of jazz in a lifetime.
Would you say,
Incredible.
who would you put in the genius category from a jazz perspective? Like if Beethoven was a genius in that era, who would you say in the jazz world is easily a genius?
I mean, there's so many, but Miles for sure. Duke Ellington, John Coltrane, obviously Charlie Parker. I mean, it's just there's.
Would you say that they're the Mount Rushmore of those 4 guys?
I could never say that. I could never make it that easy. Depends on what mood I'm in too. But I mean, jazz to me is, I did pretty well. I can play a little bit.
What's the one jazz record that you would say for someone that doesn't know and understand jazz that they should go out right now and buy it and listen to it? What would that one jazz record be?
Maybe Kind of Blue by Miles. That's what pops to mind right now because it's it's a pretty easy listening, but what they're doing there is very heavy. So you can appreciate it on a number of levels, but it's great songs, great stuff to do. Maybe a Mingus Charles Mingus records.
I've heard of that guy.
Oh yeah. Bass player. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, can you play a stand-up bass?
Not well, not a lot. I can do a little bit, but no, I never, I kind of went to electric.
Could you figure it out eventually if you had to?
Yeah. And I have, and I've played it. I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not jumping up. I'm playing first position a little bit.
Right.
It'll take a little while, and I don't have the stamina or the correct technique to do it. But I could easily do a set or something, a couple sets, like some easy country stuff. Like that. I've done jazz jams where there's no bass player showed up, and I've had to do it, and it's not very pretty. But I can get around.
Yeah, but I think your definition of not pretty is in other people's might be just beautiful.
Well, the intonation is the hardest thing, and the technique. I'll be soaking my wrists for a week. That's thing's right. A beast.
I know. Hey, so social media. So how do people find out about you?
So I'm on you can find out a lot of my gigs on 22N obviously, or the Big Top, and then just my name, Chris Guertin. My last name is Guertin. Just find me on
chrisguertin.com.
Chris Guertin on Facebook or on Instagram.
So go into Facebook and so you get that.
Yeah. And if you can't find me right away, it's a picture of me holding a bass. Pretty stereotypical. Right. You can find that through the Kettle of Fish or through 22N or I'm
Kettle
around.
of Fish will have their schedule.
Yep.
22N will have their schedule.
Yeah,
Big Top Live, it's safe to say it's every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, the Doing Pianos thing, we pump out a little.
And that's the one on Fruitville Commons.
That's right.
Fruitville Road.
Yeah.
Not the one on Cattleman.
Correct. It's right behind Cooper Hawk, the restaurant there, and there's a Twin Peaks restaurant, that whole little area there.
Great.
Just east of 75. Yeah, it's great. If anyone sees this and does come by, please say hello to anything.
Fantastic. All right, Chris, with that, we're going to say goodbye.
Man. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, man. This show was created just for guys like you, man. So people can get to know you and get to know more about, because you're one of those guys, you're so busy playing that you don't really get to talk about where you're from and your passions and all that stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's great.
Great. Hey, Chris.
Yes.
So every guest gets a free shirt.
Get out.
Now, this is a jacked up shirt for you. It might be a little too big. I can get you a smaller size. It's a XX. I can get you a large or an XL. But anyway, the reason why it's so bright is that when you're riding your bicycle or your motorcycle, I want to make sure that nobody hits you.
Oh,
so you're safe.
Thanks.
Because they could easily see that.
That's awesome, dude.
So enjoy that shirt.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right.